consulting. Yeah, thank you very much. What got me into all this starts as me being a bud tender, because I wanted to get into the industry somehow, and there was a lot of things that I wanted to do, but at the time it was pretty impossible to do, just having the education that I had as in 2013 when I moved here. It's funny how they want you to have experience as a bud tender, and you're like, experience doing what?
Or you're like, hey, I smoked weed my whole life. What experience?
That's how it all started.
That's like mine and your thought when you go to the shop and tell them hey,
I'd like to work here, and they're just like, well, you don't have experience, and you're like, okay, well, you quickly find out it's a lot of people in the beginning is who they knew, who was investing in what, and people who were doing the big number pushing and moving, and just kind of that's who. It's just, who did you know? Because everybody I knew that had a bud tending job ended up knowing somebody or meeting somebody at a festival or something before they even started the fill in the blank company, and then all of a sudden it's they're working, and now 4 years later they're running the shop and all this stuff. And so I finally, just by shopping over and over and over again at a local dispensary, I got a job there. I was lucky enough to do that because I would mingle and talk with all the bud tenders and, do that whole rigmarole. So worked there, ended up there for about 9 months, and then left that because it just wasn't really fulfilling me. They didn't have any plans on moving me out.
I was going to say, there's not much room for growth at some of those spots, and it's
and then you end up having a lot of things like, oh, well, I don't even take home my tips, they go on my check, or blah 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 blah. It just became kind of depressing. So after that, I went to another dispensary that treated me very well. They, with your recommendation, honestly, they had them and one other person were able to get me a job and have me start working there. And
how long were you there? About a year?
11 months. Okay. Yeah, I was there from about September or October of 2018, and left there in the end of about a year, because the end of October in 2019. Again, same situation, better team, better people, I would say, but definitely worked hard, and not like it was ever. Speaking of which, my man Jared, come on in, dude.
How you, Blaze?
Yeah,
what's up, brother, man?
Good to see you,
yeah,
bro.
come on in, dude. Take a seat.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, this is actually one of my old comrades, one of my old coworkers. My guy.
Cheers.
My guy Jared.
I had to bring in some party favors too.
Oh,
got some Fresh Verde.
Okay.
Strawberry banana, first drop.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna take a dab.
Comes in with a nice little present. Nice.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that sums it up. Is that I saw a lot of these guys doing a very almost meditative work when they're making hash. It's like they're in the lab, they're in the washroom, they're communicating with the team, and it just seemed like something that always was up my alley. It was just really always something in the back of my head of maybe I could do this.
And even before, though, you were doing washing or something, and now you're doing other things, though, for this company. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I started out learning the whole process of where all of the organic materials and the bags and the cold temperatures and the step-by-step process.
What kind of bags do they use?
They use, I believe, right now we just got new ones. So I know that we press with Sasquatch, but I don't know if we use their bags, essentially, because we just got brand new ones. So I need to...
Now, what about the washing bags?
That's what I mean.
Okay.
There's an